Hey everybody, and welcome to TX3 Productions. I am Nick, here to bring you another movie review. Today, or right now, because I just did a review before this, so you should check that out on our channel. But right now, what I'm going to be reviewing is the Borat, the subsequent movie film. Hi, my name is Borat.
My name is Borat.
So this is the second Borat film. Borat. This is the second Borat film.
Borat.
And I'm gonna tell you my thoughts. So obviously, God dang it, I can do this. This is Borat. Borat is played by Sacha Baron Cohen, and his daughter, which are basically the two main characters, is Mariah Balkalova. So I hope I at least somewhat got that right. And so the gist of it is that because of the first movie, Kazakhstan is made fun of all over the world, and so now he's shunned by his country, and so basically they come up with a scheme to get back in the good graces of USA. And so, yeah, that's what he goes to do. He gets back into the graces of USA, and originally he's supposed to give somebody a gift. I won't give it away because it's actually kind of funny. He's supposed to give a gift, but his daughter ends up stowing away, and now he has to figure out what to do. So he ends up wanting to give his daughter away as the gift or whatever. And so hijinks ensue and a lot of stuff happens. This was a very funny movie. Absolutely funny. I definitely don't think there was as much raunchiness as the first one, and there definitely wasn't I wouldn't say that it was as funny as the first one. I still really enjoyed it. I still think it's absolutely hilarious. But I think Borat, like, one of the reasons the first one was so funny, so controversial, is because of how it was the first time. It was the first time around, and we were just like, oh wow, this is so out there. Now, there's plenty of people that probably watched Ali A or Ali G or, his character on his show, and so they probably knew about Borat way before the movie. Borat was my kind of introduction to Sacha Baron Cohen's style of comedy. That being where basically he goes out and does these outrageous things, and he's getting people's live reaction or whatever. So the fact that Borat came out and did so good, I think, was because it was just something not a lot of people were expecting. This show that he was on definitely had its followers and definitely was a big cult classic or whatever. I think Borat really put him on the map, especially seeing what he's done since then. So this time around, it's not horrible. Absolutely not horrible. It's not a piece of trash or anything like that. It's just that I just don't think there's as much. There was a lot of gross out factor. There was a lot of just absolute outrageousness of the first one. And a lot of that outrageousness is here, but there wasn't one part that was just like, oh my God, what am I watching? And so I think in a way that can be good, because some people just don't really like that. I can't remember what the movie was, but it was a movie that he was a brother, and him and his brother became hitmen or something, and there was just one scene after another that was just way over the top, to the point where it just got kind of okay, you're trying too hard, you're just getting to the point where you're doing something for the sake of doing something shocking rather than it making sense in the movie. And so it got to the point where I was just so on that sense, this not being so shocking is kind of a good thing, because it makes it a little bit more watchable, a little bit more rewatchable. There's certain parts of Borat, I cringe at watching again, like the one part where he's running around with that big fat naked guy, and then he does the in his ass or whatever. That's hard to watch. There's plenty of people out there who think that's absolutely hilarious, and they're like, oh my God, and they just roll on the floor. But it's like me, I'm just like... So having a scene not like that in this movie is actually a good thing. But at the same time, overall, it's less outrageous in a way, you know? It is interesting that this was basically filmed right before the pandemic started and then during the pandemic starting. That made it really interesting and really, like, relevant. Like at the one of the parts of the movie, he goes to a Michael Pence rally and he's talking about how there's only 15 people with the coronavirus. I'm like, oh my God. Then there's this other part of the movie, I'm trying not to give too much away, but there's this other part in the movie where he basically gets stuck in quarantine with a bunch of hillbillies. And so the thing about Sacha Baron Cohen's style of humor is that he gets people to say stuff that's just absolutely ridiculous. So these are people who are like QAnon people, and it's like they're talking about these, oh yeah, Hillary drinks blood of people, and they scare them so that their adrenal glands go into their blood, so that when they drink their blood, they're drinking their adrenaline as well. And it's like, how does this exist? How is this real? And it is. It is real. And then he goes to this rally and he does this fake song. And part of the song, he gets people to start chanting, "Cut them up like the Saudis." And these are American people chanting that for his song.
Naughty, naughty.
Have whatever views you want. Support whoever you want, that's fine, but chop them up like the Saudis, I don't know, that's just a step too far. Lock her up, okay, you think somebody should be in jail? Okay, I might not agree with you as a person, but we can't even agree the fact that they shouldn't be chopped up like Saudis. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. But that is what's so interesting about Sacha Baron Cohen's style of humor, is that he's able to put himself into situations. He doesn't break character. I don't know how. How do you not break character in situations like this? But he's able to get out of people such outrageous things. Like, who is America? That one senator that basically kept yelling the N-word over and over again, and then Sacha Baron Cohen is like, "Oh no, this is the word I meant," and it's like, why are you even saying that in the first place? And then he also got him to do a selfie stick up somebody's skirt to see if they were actually a girl or a man, and it's just like, you signed a waiver. You didn't blur out your face, so you obviously signed some kind of waiver saying that, yeah, it's okay that you use this film. And yeah, so I mean, seeing people just okay with their faces being in this movie is just like, what? I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So Sacha Baron Cohen did freaking amazing. His co-star, Maria Bakalova. I'm gonna say it like that. I hope that's right, unless the K's silent, and then I don't know anything anymore. But they did really good. I feel like she was really funny when she needed to be. She was maybe a little bit hammy in certain places, but also I think that was playing into the misogyny of his culture. And so she was acting a certain way because that's just how she grew up in a freaking barn. And so she had a very warped sense of right and wrong, or like what a woman is supposed to do. So seeing her kind of develop, and not only that, Borat develop in their relationship, I could definitely see it coming a mile away, because they were like setting up little softballs like, hey guys, pay attention to this sentence right here because it's going to come up later. So it was a little obvious, but at the same time, at the end of the day, hey, it's a comedy. So we're not expecting, Academy Awards winning kind of performances. But when she needed to be funny, she was very funny. When she needed to be serious, she was serious. And so I really liked it. So overall, I really liked it. The one part, this might be spoilers, so if you want to click off right now, just know that, hey, it's worth it. If you have Amazon Prime, go watch it. If not, get a free trial and go watch it. It's definitely worth it. So there you go. There's the end of it. So this part is spoilery because it's been in the news, okay? So in the news, we've had that Rudolph Giuliani, so Mr. Rudolph, with his nose so bright, got caught in a very compromising situation. Afterwards, or especially when the movie was coming out, like, they made comments about it when it was filmed at the time, but nothing too substantial. Now that everybody knows what the scene entails, now that the movie's out, or the movie was just about to come out, now he makes a statement. So basically, he was caught with his hands literally down his pants with a 15-year-old in the room when she helped him off with his mic. Now, his statement is that his shirt had come up, and so he was tucking his shirt back into his pants. Whereas a lot of people were like, oh, he was touching his genitals and stuff like that. And the way it was filmed, or the way it was edited, didn't seem as bad as they were making it out to be. The way I saw everything leading up to it made it seem like he stuck his hands down his pants and he kept it there for a while or something. That's the way it made it seem. But at least the way they edited it and the way it showed it is, wow, I think he could have been touching himself because he was very flirtatious with a 15-year-old. While I think he could have been touching himself, the footage itself isn't overtly incriminating. And I'm not giving him an excuse, but I am pointing out that his excuse is right there on film. His excuse of because when they're taking his mic off, they have to like pull his shirt up like this a little bit to get the mic up, and then he's tucking it back in. And so, is that what happened? Did they not show the whole thing? Are we gonna get the raw footage? I was almost expecting there to be like a smoking gun, like, hey baby, come over here, I got a present for you. But there wasn't that. Instead, there was like ominous music, and it's like, dun, 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 dun. And it was just him putting his hands down his pants. He didn't say anything. He didn't like go, ooh, baby, or anything like that. He just put his hands down his pants. So his excuse of him, fixing his shirt, I could see that. Do I believe it? Not necessarily, because why would you put yourself in a hotel room away from everybody to go have drinks with a 15-year-old and you're putting your hands down your pants? So all of that, why would you put yourself in that type of a situation? Why? Oh, I was taking my mic off. But at the same time, I do have to go by what I was shown, and what I was shown could be interpreted as him fixing his shirt. So will he get away with it? Yeah, most likely. Look at the fucking country we live in right now. Like, there's so much that people are getting away with. So who knows? All that out of the way. So what's my recommendation? Once again, this is a movie that kind of makes our rating system a little confusing. So I do have to kind of preface it. So our usual ranking system is, premiere event. What we mean by that is this is a movie you should see on day one. You should pay the premiere, you should pay the premiere amount of money to go see this movie, nice lounger or whatever. So premiere event. Then there is matinee. Matinee means you're going to spend less money. You're also maybe going to go 1 or 2 weeks afterwards. Then there's rent. You're still spending money. It's still only $1, but you are putting some money into it. And, yeah. And then there's stream it, which is don't spend any money on this. Wait for it to come out on Netflix or Hulu or something like that, which nowadays almost every movie comes out eventually to one of the streaming things. So stream it is pretty much, I don't want to spend any money on it. Rent is, I don't mind spending a little money on it. Matinee is, I don't mind spending more money on it. And premiere is, hey, day one. So what do I rate this? I definitely don't think it's a premiere event. It was hilarious. It was great. I don't think it was as great as the first one, but I do think it's at least as good as a matinee. So if this was in theaters and I saw this at a matinee with like my buddy or something like that, heck yes. Heck yes, this would be a really good like guys' night if COVID hadn't fucked that up. But let's not go there, okay? So that's my thing. I always like kind of look at the scores myself. So the tomato meter is sitting at a certified fresh 84%, and the audience score at a 75, which is weird. I agree with the 84%. I think it's really good. Maybe not 84, maybe more like 80. So I know I'm just shouting out numbers now, but 75. I think there's just plenty of people out there that probably weren't happy that their people were being made fun of. And so 75% is good considering that there's a lot of jokes at the expense of Republicans. So I'm surprised it's that high, if I'm being honest. Out of 687, I would have expected it to have been like 40 something because like all the Republicans just go and flood this with 0% or something. I am genuinely surprised at that. Then if we look at Metacritic is a Metascore of 68 and a user score of 6. Definitely feel like it's more than 6, but I like kind of just looking at the scores. What do other people think about this? It doesn't affect my score at all. I still think it's a matinee. So what about you guys? Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Was it better or worse than the first one, in your opinion? That's a really good question. Down here are all of our contacts. So if you want to follow us there or to contact us any way you want, let us know anything, just for stuff. I'm messing up this outro. So thank you so much for joining us on Threat X3 Productions. I was Nick, and you have yourself a wonderful day.